This is the Afterbrews, of course, sponsored in part by Trek CBD. You can find them at trekcbd.com and more episodes of Business and Brews, Afterbrews, and our new podcast, How to Build a Business During a Pandemic, at businessandbrewshow.com. My name, of course, is Ryan Smeltz.
And tonight, our guests were
Madison and Jason Fox with Fox Will Fix It.
Thanks so much.
Just an in between, some more faithful flame when you're all going wrong. I wanna be center stage, I wanna be in your spotlight, I wanna be.
Cool. So, welcome to the Afterbrews. Are you guys excited?
Jack.
Okay. So Madison, 3 kids homeschooling. When did you think you would be doing that?
Definitely not before I had more than one. Is that right? Yeah.
How old are they?
I was very ambitious back in the day when we decided to start having kids, and if somebody had said, hey, by the way, in 2020, they're all 3 going to be home with you all day, every day, and you're going to have to teach them things. I'm like, I barely made it through school myself. Are you kidding me?
So basically you help Jason out with his business, and then you have to turn around and teach what grades?
So I have 2 preschoolers and then 1 first grader.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, all girls. And so basically I will say I did a lot of my legwork before we had Skylar, which is our youngest. I've been a stay-at-home mom since we had our first daughter, and I was on a lot, obviously by default, on a lot of social media type of mom groups, and I saw all these people that were just posting things, and I figured that was a good way to connect, and I started marketing for us. And so I've made a lot of, I would say, social media friends. So that's great, and I do that during the day, but I will say it's been nice that our word of mouth has taken over on our business, because I don't love to be glued to my phone, and I don't love to have to be on all the time and respond, and most of our clients are very understanding as to just being busy, and especially since the pandemic, I can't get back to everyone's emails and messages, and I've kind of slacked on updating some of our pictures, but I spent a really solid 2 years building this platform, and I feel like it all worked out, because now I'm at home and I don't have to do quite as much as I did back when my kids were in school. So as far as on the business aspect,
I can just imagine not planning to be a teacher, and now you're a teacher.
I can't tell you how much more. I mean, I've always been so grateful for our teachers, but I mean, my heart goes out to them right now. They are really, no one knows what they're doing. I mean, it's just everything. It's just everything. It keeps getting changed, and I mean, it's one thing to raise your children and take care of kids, but it's a totally different thing to actually have the mindset and the skill set to be patient and to teach them and coach them, and or more so just teaching them a new skill. If anyone else is like me and my daughter is very, very strong-willed. So her and I, virtual learning does not work very well with us. But, like I said, I think everything happens for a reason, and I'm just so eternally grateful.
Nice.
For our teachers. Our teachers are great. They do way more than they get credit for. So.
So, Jason, what is it like now with that little bit of change, having everybody at home, and then I guess you go to work most of the time and come back, but
Yeah, I've been helping out more in the mornings before I actually do head out because they still were on that schedule to get up at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
When they start to go back to school and everything. So they've been still on that schedule. So I'll get up in the morning. Every other morning, we've been kind of switching off and on here and there. Try to give each other a break, give her a break when I can. When I can start late, when I do. When I can get off early, I'll come home early. If I have to work late, most times by mid to early afternoon, I'll shoot her a text or a phone call. Let them know, hey, baby, it's going to be a late night. And I'll get home. Most time I'm in time. I'm home in time to do bedtime. So.
Nice.
It's nice to mentally prepare. I like that 3 o'clock check-in.
So whether he's going to be home at a decent time or late, that check-in is like, okay, now I know what I'm looking at for the rest of the day.
Yeah, it is. It's a total mindset. If I know at 3 o'clock I'm going to be in it to win it till bedtime, then I can adjust properly.
She said, "In it to win it."
In it to win it.
All right.
Getting that bedtime and dinner routine down.
So, Jason, I know you said, you I think you said you contract some guys. You got one guy that works with you kind of part time.
He's pretty much full time.
Okay. Is that something where like you had to train him on some things, or?
Absolutely. There's some things that I'm okay with him doing on his own, but most of them I'm right there in case.
Yeah.
So we work alongside each other almost every day, all day. So.
Well, would you? It sounds like you have a pretty big focus on the quality of your work overall. So where did you kind of get that focus from? What really encouraged you to put a lot of effort into that, and how do you transfer that knowledge and that skill to him and the other people that you're going to hire in the future?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's pretty much just demonstrate and duplicate, man. So you demonstrate how you want things done. You figure out how to make things done the best way that you want them to be made, and then you can just kind of teach that process and say to other folks. So it's pretty much just demonstrating to duplicate the process.
That's awesome. I think often some people get caught up in basically hiring for skill and experience, which is nice, except if you hire an expert and they're, I don't know, not honest, then you have this whole new problem that you have to deal with. And as a business owner, like I can teach you how to do what I do, but I don't know if I can teach you how to be a good person,
So before I brought this guy on, I told him, I was like, I'd rather work for somebody that's kind of green than have somebody that already has formed bad habits in our industry. So that was one thing I told him, this new guy, but he's like, totally get that. I'd rather learn how to do it the right way, so I have the habit of doing things the right way.
And you said eventually you want to move into like general contracting?
Correct.
Okay. So basically, say again?
Property development, yeah.
Okay. So I guess what's because we had a general contractor on a little while ago, and I think some of their focuses are like, like add-ons and stuff like that. So when you say property development, what does that type of general contracting look like?
That's going to be an overall probably maybe 10, 15-year-old goal, maybe even 20.
Okay.
But to get to that point where you want to actually develop some land, you got to have some serious machinery and some serious capital backing the project too. But once I jump my general contractor's license, I'll probably start doing stuff like bathroom renovations, kitchen renovations, additions, sunrooms, stuff like that. So that's probably where I'll start out once I'm GC license and everything. But then you can get into the really big money where you're actually developing land, building houses from scratch, from the foundation up. You have your hands on that whole process. And that's where you can really look at some serious income.
That's crazy. I've always thought about that. Like, I'm just really interested in, I guess, the process and kind of what it looks like. Because my brother is a plumber, so obviously he had to get licensed, and now he owns his own company, which took a little while. But one time I looked into what it takes to become a general contractor, and it was different, and I was like, that's really interesting. So, I know you got to test out for it, but is that something where you're going to be able to apply your knowledge and experience, or is that like do you have to study books a little bit, or is it a mixture?
It's an open book test to get your general contractor's license.
Sounds like the Army. Like they honestly, which some tests were more involved than others, and the bulk of the tests that I took in the Army that were on like a computer or anything like that were a lot more leadership focused, because that's what a lot of the schools that I had to go through in order to get to the next rank were focused on, developing leaders to lead the next generation of soldiers. So if I'm a squad leader, I need to be able to train the next team leaders. So they didn't care if you knew the stuff, because regulations change left and right all the time. They cared if you knew how to find it. That's interesting. I had no idea. So
Yeah, the same way it is in general contractor, because the codes are always changing.
So when
Building codes, structural codes, electrical codes, plumbing codes, HVAC codes, they're always changing too.
when do you decide to take it? Is that like you're just
It probably would be within the next 2 to 3 years.
okay?
Also, there's a lot of collateral that has to go into it as well. It's more so, it's just making sure that we're at a point when we decide it's an investment. I mean, more so anything, it's I mean, if he could do it tomorrow, it's great, but we're trying to build a nice platform, and
We're taking it bite sizes. We're doing things, not trying to take the huge leap, which I've seen some people do.
and then crash.
Some close relatives of ours that their company pretty much crashed. He got JC'd, and he just jumped in too fast.
Too fast. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Bit off more than he could chew.
kind of crumbled a little bit.
Yeah. So we're trying to steadily build it up, and
Yeah, that makes sense. It's interesting. Is basically what you're doing now with the level of quality in your work, and then you said the word of mouth kind of put certain things on autopilot. So as you slowly make that transition, what you're taking along with you in way of a loyal customer base, I think is invaluable.
Hands down.
Because whether they have you do work for them or they just tell other people about you, I feel is going to relieve a significant amount of pressure on the front end when you start that. That is crazy, man. Things I wish I knew. That's like, I'm telling you, like, just the fact that I can see other people doing it, and I'm like, man, if 5 years ago when I started my first business coming out of the Army, I knew half the shit I do now, that would be near the top of the list. Like, do this. All right, got it.
and the first lesson to life is
Yeah. No, that's crazy. I love it. Well, I don't want to keep you guys too long, but I really appreciate you jumping on. This has been a blast. I hope I can figure out the sound stuff one day. I'm gonna have to run some tests, but Madison, while you were in the bathroom, I told Jason that I guess at the beginning I had one of the gates turned up too high, so the noise was in and out on the live. The recorded versions, everything will be golden, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, if somebody watches it and says you sounded funny, then that's why.
people say that to me anyway. So
Oh, okay, all right. Have you, Madison? Have you ever done like a open mic night or anything?
it's in the works.
Okay.
I feel like I did life backwards. I had children really young, and now like I feel so inspired because kids are like the funniest things ever. Humans, like they're just so funny, and they have no filter, and they just do ridiculous things all day. And I'm like, half this stuff, I'm not even that creative. I'm just repeating what my children are saying and doing, and then taking credit for it. But I feel like credit, or I did birth them, so I might as well, get something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you can probably take credit for the birth part at least.
Oh yes, I definitely can. Which will be another podcast, which hopefully will involve less people that TMI.
Yeah. No, one of my buddies posted a video the other day, and it was this guy like reading questions from different people. I think primarily focused on parenting and birth, and one of them is like, I just had my baby, but how can I be sure that I'm actually the mom?
I literally said that same thing, like, because our first daughter came out and looked, I mean, a spitting image. Like my oldest looks just like her dad. And so, I mean, I'll occasionally, and she has this personality. I'm like, I need a paternity test. This is not mine. Mom's like, I'm pretty sure I was there. I'm pretty sure you did. Yep, she's yours.
100%. That's funny. And then the following two, you're like, nah, okay, it makes sense now.
Yeah, you just kind of start, they all just kind of fall in line. You're so over the top with the first, and then the second, you're like, oh, okay. You lean back, and the third, she's just, I forget her name half the time. Not really. I don't.
Jason.
She's hilarious though.
Jason, are you okay?
I'm great.
Three daughters.
He is the best girl dad.
Okay.
I have fun with them. They're all tough, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
they
we're raising.
They all love the rough house,
We're raising some badasses.
They want to play with daddy all the time. So
okay.
Wrestle with me and jump on me, and they're good girls.
Hey, maybe do you think one of them could be president, or all three of them?
Probably.
Okay.
At the same time.
At the same time.
All three president at the same time.
Imagine how amazing our country would be if all three of our girls could be president at the same time.
That would be so weird. 3
women president at once. as long as they can all come together and they're not, super passive aggressive to one another. So,
I feel like that would just be a reality TV show waiting to happen.
Oh, for sure. Just keep them away from the big red button. That's what I'm saying.
Regardless of which one or what it does, just keep them away from it.
Yeah, you just never know when one of them's having a bad day, and then they'll come to 2 and they'll be like, I'm sorry, I was very irrational yesterday. I didn't mean to bomb the country. It was just a bad day, okay, guys?
But I'm over it now.
I'm over it, and I see what I did. It's like, whoa, you might have to do a little more than apologize to that country.
Where would we be without hypotheticals?
Yeah, I hope none of that was taken the wrong way. I speak till I offend.
I feel like we'll be all right. Worse things have been said on this podcast.
Good. I've watched my language, so that's a plus.
I don't do any.
My potty mouth. I
don't do any censoring. I try to stay on top of YouTube and Facebook requirements for which boxes to check, because to go through and bleep out anything is a pain in the butt.
Oh, I can't imagine.
So I'd rather just put it up there and make sure I check the box. This is marked as not for kids, but it's not restricted. So
I love how long of a way, things have come, I just having to watch those reality shows with beep, beep, beep. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah. And now
just
they're
put
like,
it on HBO and call it a day. Come on.
Call it a day. All right. Well, you guys should keep me posted. You have my email, and I want to hear how the test goes and as you progress. If you go back and watch our episodes, I know we just interviewed someone who's, still pretty new in the general contracting world, but has some things figured out. I think they said their office is in Garner or Clayton. So
awesome. We'll definitely check that out. We love to connect with people in the same field. Like I said, there's not a lack of work. If we can help another family, or get somebody that needs a project done sooner than we can get it done, I love to refer other local businesses out. So there's definitely none of that, but
So I think if you look them up, I have everybody's contact information, but I think it's a matter of figuring out. I'm pulling up the episode now, but they're I want to say they live out in somewhere near Whitsett, Burlington area.
Okay.
But they're pretty awesome, and I want to say that they have I want to say they have 3 kids too. I'm not sure, and I know they like to do outdoor stuff. So they, as a couple, do like crazy, insane mountain climbing, like edge of the cliff type, Colorado type stuff. I think as a family they do kayaking, but it's called.
I am very afraid of heights. Sorry, baby.
It's called Closer Look General Contracting with Phil and Heather Otto.
Okay. Otto, is that OTTO? Otto?
ODDO. But closer, yeah. If you look up Closer Look General Contracting or go to that episode, then their stuff is in the comments. And
I'll definitely look their page up. I do, like I said, I'm on all of our social media. So if I can find any other local businesses to plug, and they're just, I just go off of referrals. And if I hear good things about them, I love to be able to refer people to them. So
cool. Well, thanks so much for being on, guys. Since this is recorded, before we go, I'm gonna basically have you guys say your name and the name of your company. I use it for beginning and ending credits, so it doesn't have to be anything too fancy. I'll start us off. I'll say who I am and what the show is and whatnot, and then I'll say something along the lines of, and with me I have, and then you guys talk. So
he said I can do it this time.
Okay, so you get to do it this time.
I get to do it this time.
It's like you take turns, so you do it, and then next time he'll do it.
I'm over here like he has a talking stick.
All right, so thanks so much. You're watching the Afterbrews tonight. Gavin was not able to be with us, so my name, of course, is Ryan Smeltz. Our sponsor is Trek CBD. Be sure to check them out at trekcbd.com. And tonight, our guests were
Madison and Jason Fox with Fox Will Fix It.
Thanks so much.
This is the Afterbrews, of course, sponsored in part by Trek CBD. You can find them at trekcbd.com, and more episodes of Business and Brews, Afterbrews, and our new podcast, How to Build a Business During a Pandemic, at businessandbrewshow.com. My name, of course, is Ryan Smeltz.
And tonight, our guests were
Madison and Jason Fox with Fox Will Fix It.
Thanks so much.